I don't know. Should we talk about it?
We made some moves. We made some moves in our leagues.
We did make some moves in our leagues.
Moves-
we should
moves
probably
were
talk
had.
about. There was a couple moves. I'm trying to think if there was a bunch of them. There's
Josh
just
almost drove
there's
into
two
a
I'm
lake
thinking of.
over one.
I definitely, for a moment, was trying to find tall things to jump off of. So, shall we set the stage?
Let's do it.
It's the granddaddy of them all. I am a very crisp 9-1 going into this past week. Ben is, what were you? Good. I know that. I don't know what your record was off the top of my head.
I was 7-4.
Okay. And it's an
No, you were
8-team league.
9-2, by the way.
I was 9-2, you're right. It's an 8-team league. And so it's a very deep, very fun 8-team league. But it's
the boys from college, pretty much.
Yeah. But the way 8-team leagues work is the studs reign supreme. So basically every year the team that wins is the team that can stack the most stud players on top of one another and just overwhelm everybody else. It is a blast. It's a completely different way to play, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, depth is way less valuable in that league.
Yes. So 2-for-1 trades in this league, chef's kiss. They're amazing.
Get the best player. Get the best player.
That's all that matters. So, one manager, and by the way, there are 4 teams kind of at the top of this thing. So half the league right now looks like any 4 of them could win the championship. And the other 4, it's kind of a maybe next year sort of thing. I mean, they're not all terrible, but we gotta call a spade a spade. It's just not going to really happen this year. So
Gonna make a push.
yeah. So anytime you see the little notification, which is what happened this past week, Austin Ekeler thrown up on the trade block. Anytime you've got a player like that going on the trade block, in a league where studs matter, in a league where the perceived margin of error is so thin, everybody, the Hawks start circling. Everybody's going a little bit crazy. Like, okay, we need to get Austin Ekeler. And not just that we want to add Austin Ekeler to the lineup. It means if you add Austin Ekeler, the other 3 teams that are really good can't start Austin Ekeler against you. So there's a lot of gamesmanship going on. Offers were made. And at the end of the day, how did it go down?
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously you've got I don't want to say the big, but the 4 big ones. The guys, they're pretty much, these 4 teams, they're going to the playoffs. They're going to be battling it out for the top spot, which is me, you, Hayden, and Denny. So I texted Jacob, who he had actually just traded for Ekeler the week before, and I kind of like how he did it. He's on the fringe playoff team, so he went and got Ekeler from one of the teams who definitely wasn't going to make the playoffs, just to see if he could get there. He lost the week he got Ekeler, so he said, fine, I'll just flip him. And I respect it, like, let's see if we can make the playoffs. If not, fine, I'll just send him. So, okay, cool. So I know I sent an offer in, and he told me, I had been talking with him back and forth, and he's like, all right, I'll be honest with you, it's up to you and Josh. Both of y'all have made an offer. I like both of them. They're really close in my mind. Give me a little bit to think about it. So I said, okay, cool. And you're back and forth or whatever. And then a couple days later, I get the text. He's like, all right, I sent you the deal, and I accepted it. And I sent Nick Chubb and a first for Ekeler. And the league just went berserk.
Well,
I mean, everybody lost it.
Here's where I was. I was not at all mad that you got Ekeler. What I was mad about was that I offered Javonte Williams and a second-round pick in a dynasty league, and this buffoon took a player who absolutely destroyed his knee and a 2025, 2 years down the road, first-round pick. So, we need to be honest about Nick Chubb. He's a great player, but that injury at his age, there's a pretty decent chance he could be absolutely nothing from here on out. Absolutely nothing.
But I do still think he's got one more year. He will be a starting running back somewhere in the NFL probably this coming season.
Maybe.
One more season.
I don't know.
He won't be the full workload that he usually is. I'll admit that. But I think he will be somewhere.
Maybe I'm delusional about Javonte Williams. Evidently, Clapp did not like Javonte Williams, and that was the crux of it. I didn't see, like, it's difficult when you don't fully know how the other guy values stuff.
I know he wanted a first-round pick.
I know. And I offered him a 25 first, and he was like, will you give me Javonte in the first? And I was like, absolutely not. Like, we're talking about Austin Ekeler. He's 29 freaking years old.
And that's why I was like, even with the first, I'm like, I kind of view Ekeler just as like a 5-game rental. I'm like, if he can give me 5 more good games, this is his last year under contract in LA. I feel like they're probably just going to try to run him into the ground and not re-sign him. So I'm like, all right, 5 weeks. That's all I need from Austin Ekeler. Get me a championship.
Yeah, I was hot.
So I get I wouldn't have paid Javonte in a first for him, but like Javonte in a second for like, you're not trying to win the league this year. Like, you're like, all right, I'm punting. Ekeler didn't get me there for him. I'm going to flip him, and you can get Javonte and reset for next year. I feel like that's pretty good.
I agree. I thought I was overpaying. Both of us, I think, strictly playing by the book, overpaid.
Yeah. From a technical standpoint, just pure straight value, Nick Chubb in it first is too much for Austin Ekeler.
Yes. And Javonte is greater than Austin Ekeler if you're just looking at straight value.
And you were adding a second.
And I added a second. Yeah. So it was one of those things where, and two, I wasn't even mad at your offer. I was just mad that I felt like I offered more, and then he decided, and it wasn't like there was some funny business happening, and it just it was. I mean, he saw both
honest
offers.
To God, you didn't know my offer. I did not know you. I knew you were the other team making an offer, but I didn't know what it was.
It wasn't like he said, okay, I'm going to take it. I'll give you a chance to one-up it. No, it was he weighed the 2 offers. He found, after weighing the 2 offers, he liked yours more, and I disagreed. And I was hot.
You were in a dark place.
I was so frustrated. I immediately
Of course, I'm glad I traded for Austin Ekeler because he immediately got me 5 points this week. I want to take this moment and say, just take it down. If you've listened to the show, you know I am not a fan of Austin Ekeler because he has beaten me in playoffs before. I'm heavily invested in Justin Herbert, and it makes me furious when they get down there in the red zone and they give it to Austin Ekeler and he has 20 points and Justin Herbert has like 13.
Yeah.
Well, I just traded for Austin Ekeler, and he got me 5 points. I think it is a personal Ekeler vendetta against me. He is my kryptonite. If I've got him, he sucks. If he's going against me, he's scoring 40. I hate Austin Ekeler. And I hate pulling for him that he's on my team. I feel dirty after doing that move. I feel filthy having to pull for this man.
Oh, and maybe I dodged a bullet the way he's played the past 2 weeks. Maybe I just saved myself from getting beat out in this whole thing.
Shut up, Josh. You got to keep Javonte. Screw you.